Hello, I'm Julian, and I'm going to show you how we use AI and Formulize to build a conference management application. So I have Claude on the left here and Formulize on the right, an empty Formulize installation. And I'm just telling Claude, Kung Fu is a web tech conference in Montreal. We need to build an application for managing it. Want to track the speakers, the presentations, the attendees, the travel plans, because we're covering their travel, probably other stuff besides that. So I just ask it, please create the forms we'll need for this to record this information in Formulize. I've hooked up Formulize to Claude through our MCP server, and it's just using some of the tools that are available there. I have to tell it to allow it to use those tools, standard MCP stuff. And so here it is creating text boxes and other parts of the forms. So skipping ahead, we can take a peek at what it's actually been doing while it's still building some of those forms. We can see what it's done so far. And so the tools interact directly with Formulize. It's not writing code. This isn't vibe coding. It is tool use through MCP. And any MCP capable AI can connect to Formulize, which is fully free and open source software, and do this kind of thing, build data management applications of whatever kind that people might have or need, including based on existing forms that they might have. You can provide PDFs or other information to the AI and say, hey, this is how we're recording our information now. Can you make a database to do this for us? And so on and so forth. So all the things that it's creating are actual form elements in Formulize through the configuration. So they're guaranteed to actually work and to interact with each other. As we'll see when it puts all the pieces together, we have a fully working relational database app, and you don't have to do any programming, of course, to make this happen. The target audience for Formulize is consultants and end users, people who have to build systems quickly or who understand the requirements but aren't necessarily, able to build it out in code. And so Formulize was kind of a no-code database system long before no-code was a thing. And we've now added the MCP and AI layer to it to enable all this kind of stuff for anybody. Um, so it's added in the subform interfaces. It's finished the forms, and then it's adding in the extra pieces here to sort of connect the bits and bobs. So inside the speakers form, the presentations are available. You can add additional presentations there. I mean, this is more of a formalized thing than an AI thing. But the important thing from an AI perspective is it understands how formalized applications are built, and it can build them for you in useful ways. So there you go, two presentations on one speaker, um, and so we can also add in things ourselves. It's a two-way street. The MCP understands the whole configuration of the system. So I've just made a volunteers form, added in the name fields, and then I can give the AI some instructions about that. I've added the volunteers form. Please add a full name field that will concatenate the first name and last name, and we'll need some of those subform listings because we need to see what presentations a volunteer has been assigned to. So you can use the AI not just to create things for you, but as a partner as you go along, and it can interact with the things you've done. So it's listing the forms that are available, it's getting the details on this new form, and it says there I can see element 57 and 58 are the first name and last name. It's now creating the derived value for the full name, and so on. And we can, as it's doing that stuff, we can just reload and see what it's up to. It's pretty quick. It's a lot quicker, of course. AI is always quicker than people. Question is it doing the right thing? So there's the first name, last name put together. It looks like it did that properly. There are coding pieces in Formulize here and there. You can make snippets of code like that and more complex ones as well if you want to do more advanced things. But the AI has the full context of the application because it's getting all of that through the configuration that it reads. And so, it's not going to make up stuff that doesn't exist. It's the hallucinations are not really a part of this because it's on such tight rails through the tools that we've provided. So just add a volunteer, and then You can add the volunteer to a presentation and so on, just like we asked. And these things are all connected together in the application the way that they ought to be in a normal database application. We look back at the volunteer and there's a listing of the presentations that they're assigned to. You could add other ones, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the from here, the last thing we wanted to do is fill up some of the information. We've created this application, that's nice, but can you check the Confu website, look up the top 20 presentations based on interest? They're listed on a page there. Look those up, and can you add them to the database? We don't need all the details, but just the names and titles and stuff. Don't want it to get carried away. So off it goes, looking for that information. And I wanted to point out that all the stuff we've done here, 11% of my plan usage on Claude to get this far. It took about half an hour to do all of this. It found all the info. It did data entry for us. And yeah, it used, I think by the time I was done, it was up to maybe 17%, 17, 18%. But the application building was about 11. And, that's on a pro plan for Claude. So the token usage on this is pretty efficient. I mean, you can imagine if you tried to get Claude Code to write you an application that did all of this, like that's a whole other story. But we think targeted tool use is very powerful, and in an open source system like Formulize, it exposes this to anyone and everyone who might need it and benefit from it, all for free. So there you go. Thank you for watching.